Yes, people, welcome back to episode 65 of the Catabolic Window podcast. Another special guest episode this week. We have got the Fridge on. He's been on before. It was a while ago. So yeah, bro, how you doing? What you been up to?
I'm good. When was we last on? What was do you know the date?
Oh my God.
It would have been at least 6-9 months ago.
Okay.
Something like that. Sure. A long time ago.
Yeah.
I think longer because it would have been before my last place. So it would have been a while back now. Early 2023, I think. So it's been a minute.
That is what I just said, Jack.
Nah, earlier. Earlier than that. Late 2022. All right, moving on.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. So you just finished up a photo shoot, right?
Yeah, that was Saturday. God, yeah, nearly 2 weeks this Saturday. Yeah, it was good to be
Mad,
fair.
that seems quick already. How did you find that prep?
Oh. Say that again.
Jack said how many people were at the shoot?
So it was over 2 days. So there was I think there was about eight when I was there, and then I'm not too sure who was there the next day. They had quite a few, to be fair. So, yeah, it was good. It was good fun, actually.
What does the process of sort of getting ready for a photo shoot look like then for the people that might not know?
So to be fair, so I said to Christian that I wanted to treat it like a prep anyway. So I said like I'm not gonna be like, and if it fits your macros or or whatever. Like so when I coach loads of people for photo shoot preps, and it's fine. Like you don't have to be absolutely shredded. We just want you to look better for the day. A lot of ladies like to get themselves dolled up, but for me, I was like, I want to be like as in as I can be, the best Fridge to date, sort of thing. So I ain't gonna lie, it was tough towards the end. I didn't actually expect it to be with workload. It was tough towards the end. I was struggling quite a bit, but we got it done.
Was that just energy levels, or was that what was affecting?
Yeah, so I wasn't hungry. Just mental focus. Just not actually having the energy to like trying to keep on top of clients. My phone goes off like 1,000 times a day and check-ins every single day. So just trying to be present and give that, and then also train. Like it's like Groundhog Day for me every single day anyway. So that was the struggle more than anything. I just wanted some energy. So that was more so. I feel like the struggle.
I get what you mean. It's a nightmare as well when your head goes, because like you can't focus on anything.
Nothing. I'm sitting here like
stuff. You're like, where did I put that body wash that I bought the other day? You go to get a meal out of the fridge. Oh, okay, yep, that is where it belongs. To be fair, nice.
Honestly, nice. And I keep like being like, it's only a photo shoot prep, like it's not the end of the world. My clients are really good, and like people on Instagram, like I get lots of support now, which is pretty cool. But it's like just a photo shoot, like it's nothing special, It's just a photo shoot. But I just feel like where I was taking it to the extreme, it was quite tough. Can you hear that beeping when that goes off, by the way?
Yeah, but don't worry, it's fine.
If I put it on silent, then I lose views. And as we had this with the last one, I don't know technology, boys, and I still don't know technology. So so my Mac broke on me last Friday before we went away for the weekend, and I had a meltdown. Like I was 7 check-ins in. I had 30 check-ins that day, and I wanted to finish. I was trying to do a Christian. I wanted to finish by 11, and it was all on to plan. And then all of a sudden, it just malfunctioned. There was an update. I literally had to do the proper coaching voice notes. It was easy. I could have 500 clients. I had to voice note them their changes. Yeah. 2-minute voice note, next one, 2-minute voice. I was flying for them. I was like, oh, this is a piece of piss. Shocking service. But yeah, I was absolutely flying for them. I don't know how people get away with doing a service like that. It's ridiculous.
Oh, mate, it's the email coaching that gets me. People still do email coaching. That's baffling.
I've got a girl actually.
Yeah, and they still charge like £200 a month. Like,
Joey Swell, the one who's always called out the gym gurus.
Yeah.
So a lady come to me. She said I was coached by him because she thought it was going to be, the dog's bollocks and all that. And he was an email service, and she wouldn't heal back for like 3 days, and it was ridiculous amount of money.
It's definitely not him. It's definitely not him.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's someone else. It's ChatGPT.
A PDF. Like honestly, and I say it like all the time. A few other ones with a few big names, like influencer names, they're not coaches.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and it's hard because you get good coaches, like who know what they're doing, who actually give a shit, and they don't get clients because of that. Like, I know Luke's a very good coach. I know he's a very good coach, and I know that like you know your stuff as well. But yet you'll get someone who's an influencer who will get more clients just because of who they are, and they couldn't even tell you the basics of anything.
The thing is, it's people who go for those influencers. They do it because like, oh, I want to have Joey Swoll's like phone number. I want to talk to Joey Swoll. That's what it is. You know, like I think if you sat them down and you said, do you really think they know a lot? How many like testimonials or proof do they have? When have they ever got technical about anything? They don't care. They're like, oh, Joey seems like a nice lad. He's pretty big. I want to chat to him, you know?
Exactly that. Frustrating.
And I swear most influencers were the kid at school that had abs literally the second they turned 13, no matter what the fuck they did. Like they're just literally automatically in amazing shape.
Some people who they will just eat crap. I've not touched a plan this week, Steve. I've eaten crisps, I've eaten chocolate. They're just shredded.
Yeah.
I mean, all the CDs at play, but still, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm dieting down to look like that, and you're just sat there eating shit all week, and you look like that, like annoying.
That's what makes good coaches, though. You know, like I was talking to someone today, because I put a thing out being like, oh, you know, I'm getting a few injuries flaring up, and like I've got definitely some issues relating to like genetically, I just get injured all the time. And I was talking to someone about it, and I was like, well, that's part of the reason I got into coaching. Like, I've got shit digestion. Like, I can barely eat anything. I've got shit resistance to injury, and I've not got amazing genetics to grow. So I understand how this process works. So if someone says to me and they're like, hey, I'm getting an injury here, I'm struggling to grow, like, you're able to help. Whereas, can you imagine being that genetic elite? You'd be like, I've had abs since I was 14. Someone comes to you and they're like, I'm fat. You'd be like, I literally don't know how you've done that, mate, because I've never done that.
I've been eating crisps to do your checking or do your PT, and
exactly
that. This is what I always say. Exactly that.
They must just not want it bad enough. That must be what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh God.
I feel like it is slowly turning around. Like there is lots of better coaches out there that don't have like an amazing physique, and they are picking up clients, and people are being a bit more trustworthy. But then you just always get the crap ones that just come through. Or, unfortunately,
there is a balance.
It seems to go around in circles just as you start to think the industry's sorting itself out. You're like, oh no, there's more bollocks coming the way.
One of my clients and her friend was signed up with a coach in Australia. Jimmy, you can't go underneath there, bro. And basically charges her £200.
Oh, it's okay. We'll edit this out.
A month, and he said it's at least a 3-month contract. She sent him a message, and he basically said, I don't really deal with the money side of things, which she can afford to patch that up. He's like, I don't really deal with the money side of things. This isn't my forte. I just deal with the coaching side of things. I know you're struggling with money right now, but we need to prioritize your money on your health and this and that. She was sitting there basically saying she can't afford it. And he's basically just saying, I don't deal with this, but you're tied into 3 months. Just like your car, just like this. He was like, oh my God, like you're never going to get client retention ever in a million. I've refunded people. I've actually refunded people. Like, even a client the other day, she was like, oh, as X, Y, Z paid you. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's coming through. They're like, a couple. She was like, I was going to drop off for a little bit, struggling a bit. So I was like, well, I'll send half of them in that. Right?
Yeah.
The next day, she changed her mind. She come back. She had to send it back again. So still, it's beside the point. I could have said, no, you've already paid me. You got to stay for a month. But that would just be a dickhead.
Exactly,
and then you don't get client retention. I've refunded so many people. At the end of the day, if they want to coach, where are they going to come to? Nobody wants to lose clients ever. Like, you know what I mean? That buzz you get when you sign a client is bad. Is that when somebody says, "Oh mate, I feel I'm gonna have to," you know what I mean? And that will never ever go, ever. Like, even now, I don't feel safe doing this job. Same as women, I don't. Honestly, I ask my missus every other day. I have a breakdown, thinking that it's going to end tomorrow, or 3 clients at the end of the world. I had probably 2 clients on up today, but still, I always think it's going to end. Always, even. I said the other day, once I hit a certain amount of money in the bank, I'll be like, yeah, I've made it. You hit that, I still don't think I made it. I still think it's going to end.
Double it quick. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, and I'm coaching quite a few coaches who are trying to build it up at the moment. And they're like, I just want to get to 30 and I'll be happy. I said, trust me, I'm at 120 and I still don't feel safe. Like, it won't never go. Like, it will never go. I don't know why. I speak to Christian about it and he just says, you got to just deal with it. Like, just deal with getting used to. You can't coach people, which I understand you can't coach people forever. It's frustrating when you coach someone, it's like 2 weeks in and they're like giving up, when you want to just sort of shake them and be like, just give it 5 seconds. You never know. It might actually work.
It's such a human thing though to just keep moving the goalpost. Like when you first got into training, you're like, yeah, like I just want to be a bit less fat and just have like a tiny bicep and I'll be fucking happy. And now you're like, okay, yeah, I want to win a show. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
okay.
It's just being part of us of being a human. We always. The other day I was stressing out so much. The Mac had broken. I had 30 check-ins to do. I was gonna pick up my missus because we were going to Centre Parks in my new Ranger. If you had said to me 3 years ago, you're gonna be stressed out because you've got a brand new Ranger, that your Mac's gonna break down, or your monitor for your Mac's gonna break down. You got 30 check. I'll be like, give me that stress now. Yes, please. When I'm wiping asses being a care worker, like I would have bit your hand off. And then when you're in it, you think, oh, this is like the end of the world. And it's like sometimes you have to take a step back and think, actually, it's not bad. Like it's
Well,
all
that
right.
shows true passion though, doesn't it? Because if you were just in it for the money, you'd be like, all right, I'll get to 50 clients, I'll charge them a ton, I'll make a bunch of money, I'll have a waiting list, I'm set. It's not that much work. But the fact that you're trying to like max out your capacity so much and you're like, I've got 120 clients, I want more, I hate it when people leave, I need more. It's because you want to help people, and like that really shows. I think the coaches who are in it for the money are the ones who are like, oh, I'll have a big email list, I'll charge them a lot, I'll lock them in a 3-month contract. Someone comes in, cool, that's 3 months sorted. I'll reply to them on email 4 days later.
Only 3 months. That's rookie numbers, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At least 12, surely. Come on.
12-month contract. God, can you imagine?
One of the guys at the gym, he did say this to me actually. He said his missus is thinking of joining me. He said, but she is meant to be tied to a year. And I was like, a year? What are you talking? Like, I'm like, just cancel. Like, I think she still might be with him. I think they eventually changed their training around because that was one of the issues. But like a year, like, come on.
Why would you want someone who's locked in? Imagine getting to their check-in and they've just not filled it out, or it's just crap and they're just clearly not trying, and you're like, well, I've got you for another 3 months. Just go. Like, why? I don't want, like, you don't want me, I don't want you. Like, why are you still here? Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine being that coach?
It's like chasing the check-ins all the time and now I just don't. Like, I'll maybe message him the next day and say it was meant to be check-in day yesterday. We'll have to sort this out next week now because it's not my job anymore, and I just want to coach people that want to be coached. So, and if you pay me, like, if you can't send your check-in over, I don't, and I'm very lenient with clients. I'm like, look, I don't, like, you're busy. You don't have to fill out a check-in form every single day. I don't need to know how many times you've had a shit yesterday. Give me a good quality amount of information. There's no point just sending me a video and nothing. At least say how many times you trained. Have you managed to get a few scale weights this week? Have you got some sort of feedback from me?
Yeah.
Then I'll cover it. That's all I expect. I don't, like, I would say 70% of my clients fill out their check-in form. If I don't fill out Christian check-in form, fuck me, and my life ain't worth living. Like, my cleaners, he went mad at me last week because I didn't take my macro and I breakdown, and I literally had half of it done. But I'm very lenient because I'm just coaching a lot of general pop as well. But as long as you get the feedback to me, that's all I need. That's all I don't even demand photos every single week, especially female clients. We don't.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I put it in every 4 weeks. It gives them a little bit of a break as well. It's hard sometimes to do a check-in. You don't want to do a 2-minute check-in video, so you're trying to sometimes long it out a little bit, which is hard sometimes. But you try and just work on a level basis as well. The funny thing is, when I did the shit service and I gave them all voice notes back, they all replied straight away. Literally, they reply straight away. I don't know. Sometimes I don't even reply. They literally was like, "Oh, that's fine, bro. Don't worry about it." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, they've never ever replied so quick, and all of them replied. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I do feel bad when I'm like, oh, okay, this is 3 minutes. But what I sort of say is like, okay, if there's any more information that you've forgotten to put in here, like, please let me know, because there's not really anything else I can cover, sort of thing. I find it funny as well, like what you're saying about it's not always filled all the way in. When I first started, like, my check-in sheets were the biggest they've ever been, because I was like, yeah, all of this stuff matters. I need to know exactly how many shits you've had a day. And it's like, no, just tell me the general shit. Just tell me the general shit. If you've had 7 shits a day because you're ill, you're probably gonna fucking tell me. Like, it's not the kind of thing you want to tell me about.
That's funny.
Yeah, like I remember I used to, like, one of my first check-in sheets, or like my first few clients, I'd literally like set by set go through and be like, did you progress? Did you not? What did you do last time? How much did you progress by? And now, like, in my check-in sheet, I'm like, did anything not progress? Because I'm not going to go through the 90 to 95% that did. Tell me anything that didn't, and we'll go through that.
Make it as easy as possible for them. That's what I always say. Make it as easy as possible.
Yeah,
I've even
100%.
rebranded my whole check-in sheet so they can literally, because they're not doing it every day anyway. They don't want to say, 1 second, I've just got to fill in my check-in form for you. I'm not filling it every day.
You
So
check it and
they're
it's
not gonna fill it.
empty.
So you know they do it, and then so I'm like probably making up their steps for the week or whatever. Just give me a good baseline. So I've made it so they can do it in 1 day because they're doing it in 1 day anyway. I say to them, just get some scale weights on there. That's all I care about. It's literally all I care about. If we've got a good amount of average of scale weights, because that goes up and down every day, especially when that's a lot of their sole focus is their scale weight, which it is for so many of them. At least get me 3 or 4 of them on there. Then the rest of it doesn't matter. Put on whatever you want to put on there. Are you hungry? You're not hungry? Have you trained? Have you not trained? Do you want any changes as well? Because sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. And this is I make a point of making quite a lot of changes, like especially to training every 6 to 12 weeks. I put them on a training block, and I always do that just because it freshens things up, and that helps with client retention massively. The amount of clients come to me and say, I haven't had a change for 4 weeks, and the coach is like, yeah, well, you've got to stick to the same thing. You've got to stick with the consistency, but the consistency of hating your training because it's the same to the changing your training and then sticking to it is consistency. So I think it's just understanding not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. Some people just want to lose body fat and enjoy going to the gym. If that means you have to do a bit extra, change it, that's what you got to do.
I think I know what you mean when you say changes, but just for the listeners, what sort of changes are we talking in? Entirely different training blocks, switching up all the exercises?
We're not going to do split squats this week. We're going to do front foot elevated split squats. We're not going to do walking lunges. We're going to do stationary lunges. We're not going to do hack squats. We're going to do Smith machine squats. Just something in a few of them that we might do. Just little changes here. I've got a client who messaged me a minute ago saying, how long until we can change our split squats? I'm like, I'll change them for you tonight. What do you mean? Like, we'll change them tonight. We can do whatever you want.
Immediately.
Yeah, don't stress it, girl.
Yeah, people always kind of overthink it. And it's like, if you've got 4 quad movements and you swap one of them out every 6 to 12 weeks, you're not missing out, because people are like, oh, you have to keep things the same to know you've progressed. You've still got 3 other quad lifts to look at that. If a split squat is one of the exercises you're doing, just progress the others. You don't need them all to be identical.
When you're coaching people, I don't know if you've ever trained with an online client, and I've trained with lots of my clients these days, but half of the time they're leaving 4 reps in the tank anyway.
Yeah.
So we're changing over an exercise is not really the end of the world. If it's gonna, this is where I use a giant rep set or something like a max reps pull set, just to get them to go a bit closer to failure anyway, because they can't get to failure because they don't have that skilled knowledge. So I think just them general changes is not going to make a big difference in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you do need to make these, in theory, not perfect changes, but again, you can talk about things on paper all day. In theory, we should run 1 block forever. But it's just not going to happen.
We can do 2 exercises. We could just do squats and leg press.
Yeah, exactly.
7 sets of squats and 7 sets of leg press. Touch another exercise, and then eat chicken and rice all day long, and we'd be probably the perfect bodybuilder. Get some veg in there, but that would be a very boring life.
Exactly. It's just not gonna work. For some people, that's what they want. You're always gonna come across some client who's like, no, give me 8 sets of split squats. I fucking love them, and just don't give me anything else. You'll be like, okay.
You just see some of the if I put you through some of their training blogs, you'd be like, Steve, you're laughing. I've got 8 exercises to do, and I've got 4 working sets on each exercise. You'll be into the 3rd one death. But they're obviously cruise through them because they'll go in there. And this is nothing against my clients, because this is obviously just their knowledge. But they'll go in, they won't do a warm-up set. They'll go straight into their set, and then obviously then they go and they still make results because it's better than not doing nothing. But this is where if you've got someone, this is where I understand obviously your clients and what their training knowledge is, so on and so forth. Because then I've got some people who I wouldn't dare take them over 3 working sets and give them more than 5 exercises in one program, because I would write them off then.
Yeah, 100%. You got to understand what your client's doing, and even then, you're not going to have clients where you are going to, like you said, you've got clients who aren't bodybuilders, and so even if they're not going to failure, not the laptop, if they're not going to failure, it's does it really matter? Do I really want to take them after a long day of if they're a labourer, and you're right, you've got 3 sets of deadlifts all to fucking failure, they better be 0 reps in reserve. Nah, they're not going to do it, and should they even be doing it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But some people, they'll be like, oh, I really want to work on my biceps, and you look at it and it's 10 reps in reserve, and you're like, okay, mate, you are going to have to train that harder, and so we are going to work on that. But you don't always need to do it with everyone all the time.
No, definitely, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like if they're making the progress that they're happy with, it's not necessarily something that you need to really worry about. But as Jack said, like if it's an area of concern, yeah, okay, we should probably fucking sort this out.
It's weird. I had a guy check in today for him, if you won't mind me mentioning, and he's had a dreadful week. He's actually the food program was one, and he's trained once, and his physique shots were the best he's ever looked. He was like, I'm really happy I'm looking. I'm like, bro, like you look good. I'm like, this is probably, I said, you probably dropped some inflammation or something this week, and that's why, like, don't do this next week because you'll look like shit. But it's a one-off. Let's, like, we need to get back to it now. I'm like, I went through his photos. I'm like, this is the best you've ever looked, and you've eaten shit all week, not stuck to your plan. It's a chef as well. Eating shit all week, not stuck to your plan, and it looks something good.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to kind of know when to kind of like ease off as well. Like, have you ever had it where a client's checked in? Maybe they're dieting, they've lost body weight like a substantial amount, but they've just done like fuck all steps or cardio, or they've overshot calories, and you're like, okay, brilliant, like cool, you can eat more, you can move less, like we don't need to be pushing this hard clearly because body weight's moving, so cool.
I've got clients who love to do more. They love to do like literally more. I'm gonna do a bit more today. I've decided I'm gonna chuck in a little bit more here. I've actually changed my cereal. I've actually changed my cereal because it's even lower. So I'm going to get more results this week. I'm like, just stick the, because I just say have low-fat cereal. Any cereal is under 5 grams of fat per 100 grams. Mix it up. Enjoy it. I'll pick the lower one because I'm going to get more results this week. Another guy, I need to walk to the gym. It's a 3-hour walk. What do you mean, bro?
That is crazy.
What do you mean?
That's jokes.
3-hour walk. I was like, bro, that's ridiculous. And I was like, your steps are going to be through the roof. I'm like, I want you to stick to your step count. I was like,
one day, yeah, that's gonna be nothing. Bless him.
I didn't do much last week, and I was like, no, bro. And he was like, okay. I think they sometimes lose their head a little bit, and they just want to just go 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, you've always got to, like, if anyone ever says that, I'm like, okay, we can do more steps, more cardio, but you've got to hold that. Like, you've got to keep that flat now. If you push it up, you've got to hold it. You can't just be like, oh, this week I'll do a 10k more steps, because then you kind of have to do that each time.
Yeah, and then it drops off majorly.
Yeah, then they just stall again. Like, what's the point?
You mentioned earlier that like it was pretty tough towards the end of the photo shoot. Do you regret pushing it as hard as you did, or do you think it was valuable?
No, to be fair, I wish I pushed it a little bit harder now. Now I look back, I wish I just went that little bit harder. So I could have got that little bit leaner potentially. But then looking back, and I say it even when I'm in the midst of it, it's just food. It is literally just food. As soon as you eat, then you're like, oh, okay, like it's nothing. It's literally nothing amazing once you can eat. But it's not until when you're in it, and you like I was sorry, like we had Easter. I was around hers at Easter. Her mum was so good. Her mum literally boiled me the potatoes, weighed them separately, whilst everyone had like an Easter roast, and like I'm there with my chicken and my potatoes, like a piece of poverty for this film photo shoot while everyone's enjoying it. They've got Easter eggs and everything. I was so on it, so I did like, which made me stay for it the whole time. But sometimes I wish I just pushed it a little bit harder, a little bit leaner.
What do you think that would have looked like in terms of pushing it harder?
Probably just leaner. I think I was fairly lean, to be fair. I
meant in terms of like what do you think you would have had to do?
Potentially more steps, more cardio, less food. I did that. Yeah, I did
The basics.
Could have had lower probably on a training day potentially. There's always little things you look at and you think, oh, what if I did that, or what if I did this? And to be fair, the edits come out. I was really happy with them.
Yeah, man, they look fucking sick.
Yeah. I think it's good to have something that you do want to improve on, though, because you can almost kind of like, you could go for a photo shoot similar time next year, go for a similar scale weight and see how much leaner, or even come in a little bit lighter if you really want to. But
I did have I think I was 20 pounds up from my last photo shoot, to be honest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that was over 2 years ago. So I think we went over some numbers. I think I was, because I was in 170s. I think I was in the 150s in my other shoot. So yeah, to be fair, I think we had about 20 pounds there. So it wasn't too bad there. I mean,
yeah, that was class.
PDs were open, but still, wasn't too bad there.
Always up the dose. Always up the dose.
What you were saying about
says the fucking natty guy.
Yeah, the only natty. What you were talking about there with like when food goes back in and you kind of, when the diet ends, you kind of feel a lot nicer about yourself. I feel like a lot of it is not necessarily the food, but like a big thing is people start like dopamine hunting, because you can't get that like hit of dopamine from your food, so you start like looking to things. That's when people do like prep buys or
This is where I don't know if you know me, but I don't spend money ever. One Ranger like I don't ever spend any money. I want to get a new car anyway, but yeah, it's a bit excessive. Obviously, I got the new phone. I did need one. I haven't used it yet, but I got it. So I did just use this. So I did start spending a little bit of money that I don't normally spend. You know, a bit some stuff that's a bit unnecessary. Because my Mac broke the other week and the mic wasn't working. I just went and bought a new mic. I don't think I need it now. This probably would be good for this, to be fair, but I don't know how to set it up. So I've got to look into.
You need a tech assistant, bro.
I definitely need some. This is where the missus should be around later, so hopefully she can. She's pretty good.
I think that's a good point that you touched on with the food, though. Like, it's not just hunger; it's that ability to like seamlessly like eat with other people and kind of have similar things and like have a bit of freedom with your food and almost like think about it less in a way. Like it's less of your day as well.
I did get the Invisalign in. This helped me as well.
Oh yeah. So
it's just a ball ache. Like there's some, even when the diet's ended, like she's got me loads of Easter eggs and everything. And like it's the evening, I'm doing a bit of work and go, I can smash an Easter egg. I can smash a cream egg right now. And I think, well, I can't. I'm gonna take them out, then I've got to eat them. Your teeth have to be mega clean to then put them back in. And I think, I can't be asked for that. So I eat 4 meals a day. So you have to pair it together with your meals. You have to be very strategic with your meals. It was great when you're dieting. But then when you're out and about, like I was just out, I just had physio today before I got back. And I just got my meal done, literally just made it, just had it, literally just got in here like 31 minutes past, just made it. But I would have just got something when I was out and about, but I can't because of my teeth. And I didn't have my game with me and all my toothbrush and everything else. So it's good when you're dieting. It's not great if you're building.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because I had my braces off like a month ago and I had to leave my retainer in apart from when I was eating. So it was in all the time. I'm like, this is such a fucking ball ache to take in and out 5 times a day. Like, it's just so annoying.
It's like a shield. When you're training, it's really good. It's like I see lots of people wear mouth guards and that when they're training. Gay, but it does actually it does feel good. Like you can really grit and get after it a little bit, which is good.
I was going to say, when you mentioned that you've obviously got like a partner at the moment, do they train?
Nicole, so she does train, yeah. I'm just going to put this on Instagram, by the way. One, because I feel like
no worries, bro.
Clients that they know.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do that, weren't we, Jack?
Oh yeah, it is our podcast. We're not even promoting it. Fucking sick.
Yeah, not even promoting our own podcast. Fucking hell, that's shameful.
You still use the same app? Do you have an Instagram?
What do you mean?
You have an Instagram for the podcast?
No, mate, we haven't used it. Just tag us.
Yeah,
I reckon.
We do, but we don't use it, so we don't basically. That fell through quite quickly. I think that there just isn't enough.
What about your ads? Lactic acid Luke, isn't it?
Addict, not acid.
LacticAddictLuke and then JackArcherCoaching it is.
Yeah.
I don't follow you both.
That's shameful.
Offended, mate. Offended.
I do follow you.
That's all good, man. Never any pressure. Just means we've got to up our content game to get you as a follower, clearly. Not posting quality enough content.
It is awful, to be fair. It is awful. Yeah, because I was going to say, like, I know some of my clients find it difficult if their partners like are into the gym, and then there's some where they aren't, and they find that easier. And it's like, what's sort of been you guys' experience of that? Because I believe, Jack, your girlfriend Chloe doesn't train at all. How did you find that?
Not at all, mate. Not at all. I mean, Steve, what's it like with your partner first? Because obviously you're the guest, so I'm going to cut you off.
She does go to the gym, but not regularly. She comes with me quite a bit sometimes. So she likes to try and go at least like once a week. But she also has a horse, and I don't know if you've ever been anywhere who has a horse, but it's the graft beyond the graft. It's twice a day. Like you have to take the horse out to put the horse to the field to clear all the horse's crap for the horse all day, to then come back in the evening to bring the horse back, so then the horse can go in there and then just crap all day. So literally like that, and you have to clean the horses. I literally just stay away from the horse because that ain't safe. Like them legs.
Yeah.
My mum rides,
and she doesn't
literally
ride anymore.
race.
So it's like she rode for years, so she's lots of energy. Like you get thousands of steps. It's crazy. I've got lots of clients who've got horses, and they used to tell me their steps, and I used to think, yeah, these steps, she's just riding a horse. And then when I'm with someone who's got a horse, I'm like, now I see where you get it. When I was dieting, it was amazing. I'm like, right, give me some jobs to do. I'll do this, I'll do that. Like I'm getting all this energy from this. Is amazing. And now I'm not dying. I'm like, I'll drop you off at the stables and I'll
You can build up like a decent amount of strength as well, like riding horses and looking after them and that sort of thing. Like my mum's rode race horses since she was like 16, and we were on holiday last year, and she just fucking bangs out like 8 bodyweight pull-ups. Never done a pull-up before in her life. And just fucking smashes it out. I'm like, you what? That's ridiculous.
That is actually mad.
Yeah, she's strong in the gym. Like she lifts pretty well. She's pretty strong.
That's class, mate. I think, you know, it's the fact that she is already, I guess, somewhat into the gym. Does that help? Like, I mean, the main thing is like nutrition, obviously, because the gym is one part of what you're doing, but the main hardest part of the diet isn't the training necessarily. It's going to be the lifestyle, the focus on sleep, the eating. So how is that with her?
So to be fair, I'm quite lucky and not lucky in a sense. So she's very good with her food. She's always been very good with her food. She preps her lunches every single day, which is good. So she's quite healthy. Sometimes she's more healthy than me if we want to go out to eat. We've got like a thing with cholesterol. She's got a hereditary thing. She can't bring it down with diet. Because I helped her quite a bit bring it down. We've been reviewing it together, and we managed to get it down a bit. But you can only get it down so much without medication. But because it's hereditary, so she has to be good with her food now because of it, which is another thing, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But she's always been pretty good with her food because of that. And before she even knew that she had this, because of her mum having it, she's always been pretty good with her food. So she eats good quality meats, good quality carbohydrates. She gets her steps in. She does. So to be fair, she's quite an active person, which goes quite well. But I've never been like, it never bothers me anyway, like whether they do, whether they don't, whatever they do, so on and so forth. We just get on pretty well, to be fair. And it's more so just understanding like the gym and my work. My work is the main thing. Understanding my work, understanding that when we're out and about, I need to be on my phone. Or she's really good. Yeah, she does a lot of admin work for me. I'm driving, she's replying. I'm doing a joke as well. You're not speaking to Steve, you're speaking to Nicole.
Yeah, but you're telling her what to say, so it's not the same.
To be fair, she's only swiping up, and I'm voice noting whilst driving. Yeah, so a bit of teamwork.
But this is obviously in another country on a private road, so it's absolutely fine.
Absolutely.
Or hypothetical.
I literally voice note.
If the situation ever arose.
I literally voice note my police clients back, and I'm like, voice noting them some feedback on that whilst driving. Then they know.
Talking about PEDs as well for bonus points.
Yeah, talking about their PEDs half of the time.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good point that you touched on, though, that like the coaching lifestyle is almost like the new bodybuilding lifestyle, and that it's so consuming. Like, I think that's the toughest part. That, like, speaking relationship wise for myself, like Chloe can understand that, like, I've got to eat 4 or 5 times a day. Most people eat 3, so you're not that far off anyway. You know, I go to the gym when she's at work, so that kind of works out quite nicely. At the weekend, it's a little iffy, but it's the fact that, like, you know, I'm working, and like by working I mean like being on tap for WhatsApps like at 9, 10, 11 at night. Like obviously you do the majority of check-ins and you form feedback and all that in the day, but you're still, just because you're done with like most of the admin, we'll call it, doesn't mean that you're not off. Like I can't just leave my phone in another room. Like
100%.
That's always the tough bit.
Just check-ins. Like your job isn't check-ins.
Yeah,
so, like,
exactly.
I rack up 9 hours a day on my phone.
Yeah.
And do 20 to 30 check-ins a day. So my job isn't check-ins. Like that's just us touching base once a week with clients. Yeah, it does take priority, but the main job is the WhatsApp and the communication and making sure clients are okay, so on and so forth. Like that is, and it's a full-time. That is more than a full-time job in itself. But like people, and unless I'm doing this wrong or just because I'm too busy, but people always think you live this luxury lifestyle, which I definitely don't. Far from luxury lifestyle. If you are really busy, because I get up, I do check-ins. I start check-ins at 9 because I have to be in by 10. And nobody ain't sending them. I do have some that send them at 6, but I ain't going to get up at 6 to do 3 check-ins to then wait 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? I want to get up and sit at the Mac. Once I sit at the Mac, I'm working till my first break, and then I'm working all the way through. So I'll do like 9 till 12, then I'll have my lunch, and then I'll do any time after that till 3. And I'm checking to done by 3 every day. Finish at 3, dog walk, then I'll train. And 9 times out of time, I'm training with online clients, just because everybody wants to train with a fridge now. And I've started something now that I have to sort of finish. But when there's so many bloody clients, there's always a session coming in. The gym I train is really good. They're quite understanding. And the PTs, it doesn't cause any issues because I'm not a personal trainer. And then I'll train with them, come home, eat, and then I've always got work to do in the evenings. I've always got new setup to do, or I've always got some training plans to change over, so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. Like it seems to the external, like to your partner, that you're always on your phone, but it might be that like you're talking to someone once or twice, but you're talking to everyone once or twice. So the fact that you were on your phone half an hour ago and now you're back on it, you're not just like having a chit chat with the same client like you might be, but it's like, oh, maybe an international client's just woken up. Somebody who works night shifts has just come up. Someone's like, you know, just gone through like a breakup, or like, you know, something horrible's happened, or someone's like, you know, like injured themselves in the gym, or something horrible, or whatever, like something important that needs your attention, right? And it's the bigger your client base, the more these one-offs become routine to you, because
all day, like there's 8 messages on it, and when we're going however long, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if I go on a dog walk, or if like I go out for the day with my girlfriend, I'll be like, okay, you understand that when I get back in, I'm gonna have to like sit down and like spend half an hour to an hour going through my WhatsApp to making sure that everyone's seen to, because I can't leave it that long, you know.
See, I'm the worst. I'll take my phone with me, and I'll be I'm so bad for it, but I do believe it plays a role in the clients and the clients that I have, because like we were talking earlier about a dopamine hit. I had a client who recently come back to me, and he said I was sitting next to his friend who's coached by somebody else, who's still waiting for a message back from his coach for 8 hours, and he said, "Watch this," and he said, "Steve," and he asked me a question, and I was already voice noting him back before he just finished, and he was like, "Look at that," and he went, "I just showed that to my mate," and he was like, "He can't believe that." And I'm like, "But this is my job, and my phone is in my hand. I'm gonna reply, like it, you know. I'm gonna reply, unfortunately."
I find it funny because the business mental feel is like. Sorry, mate. Carry on.
I love that as well, because I feel like, yes, I've done my job. You've asked a question, I've answered it within a second, within a minute, within 10 minutes. You know, they've got the answer straight away. They don't need to. That's what they pay for, and they're like, "This is a fucking good service." You know.
Yeah, there's no reason to sit on it. Like, no coach should ever be.
How they do? They cannot be that busy. All their clients must think, "What's the point in messaging him? Because he don't message me back."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to message him because they know if there's a problem. I feel bad now because there is questions like, "Steve, what do you think about this?" or "Do I need to give you any more information for tomorrow's check-in?" Like, because they know they'll get a message back. But when I had physio earlier, I couldn't really get to my phone. I'm getting better at understanding that he'll be fine when I let him know after this that I don't need any. Tomorrow, just bloody checking for him.
The approach that I use is like, if I can, I will. But like, say if I'm like on the podcast, or like if I'm asleep, or you know, if I'm out and about doing something, it's like if I can't, I can't. But if I realistically can, then I will. Like if I'm out and about for the day, at some point I'm going to go for a piss, or we're going to sit down somewhere, and then I'm check my phone. Like, and I will do that at the earliest opportunity that I can. And like same for like checking my phone during training. I'm pretty bad for that as well, but I'll still do it.
I reply through the whole training session, because if I don't, again, I'd have too many messages.
Yeah, it builds up. Yeah.
Be ridiculous. And also when I'm training with clients, because I'm not a PT, I don't feel bad, because at the end of the day, this could be them, and I say this could be you asking me a question, so I'm gonna reply.
Yeah.
You know, they're not paying for my. If anything, that costs me time, because they don't pay for me to be there. You know, it costs me time because I'm there with them. So I always make sure that I'm always replying, and for all of my sessions. And to be honest, it breaks up your set sometimes, because you'll do your set and you got 3 messages, you reply to them, and then you've had enough rest to go back into your set. I know it's hard.
That's a good way to frame it as well, like why you don't feel bad about it.
You know, I'm better now, even like at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm working, and I'll get messages come through. I'm like, yeah, well, that can wait till the morning now. But they don't know that I'm up working late. Same as in the morning, when I get up in the morning, they don't know what time I'm awake. So I want to get up, I can look through messages. Took my red receipts off about 6 months ago. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. You don't need them on. Like, you just, I've got unread messages now, so I'll read something and then I'll unread it, so I know it's there for later, just for if I need to make a change or an adaptation and I don't want to forget about it. But it's one of the best things I've ever done, because then if it's not important, and I've just got up in the morning. But I want to see what the message says. Then I can sit and have a coffee, get my bearings before.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes you do have to like prioritize. Like someone will message you in the middle of the gym, being like, "The leg extension just broke. What do I do?" And sometimes someone will message like, "Oh, in 3 months' time, I'm thinking of eating some lettuce. What do you think?" You know.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. What I was going to say earlier was like the business mentor crowd will be like, oh yeah, you can work from anywhere, like online coaching is perfect and easy, but what they don't tell you is that you work everywhere.
Yeah.
You can work anytime. You work all the time now. Congrats.
I hate the no offense to any business mentors, but I hate the business mentors. Like I said, I've got quite a few coaches and they pay me a couple of quid extra, and I literally just say to them or try and explain to them that you need to, one, look busy and look like you're actually working, because you're never going to work with people. You need to stop doing funny videos, just because we're not comedians, we're online coaches. And I see people just trying to be funny because there was this notion, I don't know where. There's a few people that I follow and they tried to do the coaching. And it wasn't them, but they was doing like comedy videos every day, trying to get clients. And I'm like, but that's not even you. You're not even a funny person. These comedy videos, because that's meant to get you clients. I'm like, but someone will look at it and go, oh, that was funny. Right, let me go and find myself a coach. Like, it's mental. I don't understand the notion of where half of whatever it is people use. I've seen some other coaches and they'll actually like just belittle people to try and pick up clients. It's mental what they do, or what some people are told they need to do to get clients. One guy, he's done a giveaway every other week. There's only 2 spots left.
Oh my god!
And I'm like,
mad. There must be 2 spots left this week, though. This must be the one.
Yeah. To be fair, I've only got 2 spots left on my 10-week program, but there is actually only 2 spots left.
Sometimes you look at like people's Instagram and it's like it's so clear that you're doing this for money and you're coming across very desperate, and so you're just not going to make it. Like, it's so weird, the interpretation of like online coaching. It's like people really do think of it as some weird super holiday where you never work. It's like, no, you're working for, first of all, if you want to have like a good client base, you're going to have a lot of people if you want to make a good amount of money, and like they're all your boss. So instead of working at your 9 to 5 where you've got set hours and you've got one boss where it's not their company, like, you know, it's like a big corporation or whatever, you've now got 40, 50, 60, 100 bosses who directly care about every single thing that's going on. Their entire day is dictated around advice that you give them, and you now have to shoulder that. Here's your phone, get cracking.
And they have to they're your only client. That's where
exactly.
When they send you a message, they get a message because they're the only one.
Mm-hmm.
I do have whenever I get a new client set up, I always send them this message, and I say to them, like, I'll put them on the check-ins. I say, right, you're on a Thursday. They can see on there, because I'm a client number on there, stupid amount of clients on there, and I'll say that I will never send out a midweek message and say, we're getting on this week, guys, because if I did that, my phone would break, because then I would have 100 plus people message back and say, oh, actually, I'm doing okay, or actually, I've got a problem here. I was like, I can't physically do that. I said, but that's why I had this. That's why I have my other system in place, because I don't have 30 clients where I can send out a midweek message to 15 on one day and 15 on the other day. I can't physically do that, but I can reply to you instantly whenever you've got a problem. Mm-hmm. That's why I have that in place as well. What a lot of people don't understand, they're like, oh yeah, but you need to have a life, you need to have this. I'm like, yeah, that's okay if you've got 30 clients, but if you've got 100 plus, then that's why I have that system in place, because it works better for me. And I tell them I'm not busy. So don't, like, there's 0 red messages every single day. So if you need me, just send me a message. Don't play. I mean, there's no such thing as a stupid question, although there's lots of stupid questions. But ask them, and I'll make them look. You know?
Yeah, better to.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not like they know the answer and they're asking you to take the piss.
This is
like that's what we pay you for.
Yeah, and this is where sometimes when I was dieting and I was a bit stressed, and I'd get some questions come through like, can I put protein shake on my cereal? And I'd be like, which mean you put protein shake in your cereal? But then I'm like, of course you can put protein shake in your cereal. You obviously don't know that, and I'm here to tell you that. But when you've been starving all day, sometimes you lose your head a little bit, and then that's when I'm like, right, you need to, like, this diet is taking over and it's affecting your business. This was where I was like, right, I don't need to do a bodybuilding competition, because one, I'm not going to gain any business from it. I'm probably not going to lose business from it. I might gain a few extra followers on Instagram. I'm not going to be a compared bodybuilder anyway, and I like to go to the gym and get a good pump. And at the end of this diet, I wasn't getting a good pump and I wasn't liking the gym. So I'm like, it's pointless. So I was like, yeah, I need to pull away from this. I enjoyed the photo shoot prep, but I don't need to do anything more than that, especially not for business anyway. People do it for business because they do their thing, and then they're a coach, and then they've changed their name over to online coach because they've done it, or online prep coach because they've done a competition once and things like that. I'd love to coach somebody because I feel like I could do it easily, but yeah, I'm not going to get any business from it.
Fair enough, mate. I think, you know, there's too much pressure now for people who get into like building their physique to just start competing in bodybuilding, and it's like you're going up against people who are making it their entire life, and they're going to do it repeatedly, and they're super competitive. And so why would you throw your hat into that arena if it's not 100% something you want to do? Because you will get beaten by someone who 100% wants to do it. So you're just going to put yourself through something that you don't really want to do, which is going to be very, very difficult for an extended period of time, come at a lot of costs, and then be like, okay, I came second, but I didn't even enjoy the process. So what's the point?
Yeah.
And that goes back to what we were saying earlier about how like making some changes to the training because the client's then going to enjoy it a little bit more, and then they're going to stick to it, and then they're actually going to fucking see results. Like if you enjoy shit, it's going to be so much better.
This is why I do a 6-week program. I do a 6-week training block. So every week I make their training harder. Not everybody could do that, but I know that 9 times out of 10 we renew every 4 weeks anyway. I don't use a Stripe account. I still get them to set up a standing order and just pray they don't cancel it. And then after the 4 weeks, they want to get to week 5 and week 6. And 9 times out of 10, they want to stay to get to week 6 because week 6 is a challenge. It's actually hard, especially for an individual who doesn't know how to train that hard. They're like, oh, I want to get to week 5. I want to get to week 6. And once we've done week 6, they're a bit tired from that. We bring them back to week 1. And then we'll run them normally twice. We can make a few changes, and then we'll have a whole new training block. I'll jazz it up. I've got 101 million training blocks. I can pick something out. I've got 17 pure gym training blocks. I can pick something out. They're not professionals at the end of the day. I can pick something out that's going to fit them as long as they I know their injuries and nothing like that. They can't do. There we go. Then you've got another new training block in there, and then it go. And it's so easy. Once you've been doing it for a while, it's so easy to do. It keeps your clients happy. It keeps them motivated for the gym. Food's super easy, and then it's all good to go.
Fair enough, mate.
Bro, Dick, thank you very much for your time. You're a busy guy, so we will let you get on. But what have you got to tell people about? You obviously mentioned I can't remember how many weeks you says it was thing earlier, and then your Instagram is CoachedbyClough. Yeah. Anything else?
We're doing a 10-week program. We only ever do this a couple of times a year. So I have Abby, she's one of the Team Fresh coaches as well. I only take on 5 people for it because it's so busy. To be fair, I've had more people sign up to the coaching than the 10-week program. It's crazy, really, because the price it is ridiculous for 10 weeks. I've got 2 spots left, but I can't take on any more than that because I prioritize the coaching. And I think Abby's got 2 spots left as well. CoachedbyClough is the Instagram. To be fair, Coach is pretty full now. I'll never say no to a client, but it is pretty full. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, pretty much about it. I always say I'll never say no. I signed another client today, and I think I'm signing another one tomorrow. But still, there's always drop-offs. There's always like at the moment it says 122 clients, but I actually count about 115 because there's some flaky ones in there. So there's always some.
There's some flaky ones in there.
When you know they're not checking in and you're not hearing from them, or
when people
you check if they've watched their Loom video like 5 days later, and you're like, oh no, okay, brilliant. So
when they message me and they say, sorry, I've only just got a chance of watching the Loom video. When they have watched it, when I've sent it out to them straight away is what makes me die, because I've got notification that you've watched the Loom video, and then you message me 5 days later saying I've only just had a chance to watch it. Or the other one is, oh, sorry, I've just get back to you now. I did watch the Loom video. No, you didn't, because I just got notification now before you just said, literally, checking, and I've got the notification saying they've just watched the Loom video. And I'm like, literally. And sometimes the PTs and coaches are the worst.
Yeah. It's because they think they're different, because they're like, oh, I'm a coach, I know what he's going to say. Or I'm a PT, whatever.
Crazy. Honestly, crazy.
Spot on. Jokes. Bro, thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely evening. Yeah. And I'm sure I will chat some shit to you over DMs at some point.
Yes.
All right. Thanks very much, mate. Thank you all for listening.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.